Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. Today, we're not going to be doing the traditional Thirsty Thursday with a guest due to his sickness. He was under the weather, so obviously, health is important and number one. So I just figured I'd just jump on here for maybe 30 minutes, an hour, depending on how much traffic we get tonight, and just do like a Q&A and just ask me anything. And yeah, that's about it. So I just want to say, like, I'll be doing my PMPT very shortly. I don't want to announce the date yet because I'm not sure. I have a few things going on, but that's a super exciting journey that I've been pretty much buckling down and trying to accomplish. So you know, thank you for everything, TCM and everyone over there. So if you guys haven't heard of the PMPT, it's from TCM Security, and it's so far the journey has been awesome. And I posted something today on my LinkedIn about it. And I don't normally post a lot on LinkedIn about my behind the scenes stuff, but I figured, you know, just posting that journey would be beneficial for others if others want to get into the PMPT. Because I just did the PJPT a few weeks ago. And what is the next step, right? PJPT. And there's some other ones I want to do from TCM, but these are the two main ones I want to do. So yeah. And yeah, so today's pretty much the agenda is just ask me anything. You have me for, like I said, 30 minutes to an hour. I'm not going to exceed 8 p.m. EST just because I have other commitments. But yeah, just want to jump on here and just not let the time go by. So how's everyone doing? I see there's about 20 people on the stream. I'm not sure where you guys are at. Let me see. Twitter, Instagram. I'm in Twitter and YouTube. So yeah, Instagram never goes live. I don't know. I don't know if I know how to connect that correctly, but that never works. But how's everyone doing? Anyone working on anything fun? Any certifications that you guys are working on? And what is your story, right? What is your yeah, let's hear it in the comments, I guess. I was going to do some live hacking tonight, but down in South Florida, the weather's been really, really bad. And I went to the gym prior to getting on the stream, and I didn't have enough time to get my VM up and running, and then connect to the VPN and find a try hack me room or hack the box room, a box. And I was like, you know what? I don't think that's going to happen tonight, just because of time constraints as well. But yeah, let me see. Let me make sure you guys can add any comments, because don't see any comments coming in. So I'm not sure if the comments are working. I don't think the comments are working because I'm on like a dummy machine as well, just to check the comments. And did I mess something up when I did this live stream? I don't know if I did or not, but let me see. This is from my, oh yeah. Okay, cool. Now I see some stuff cooking in here. So I'm starting in cybersecurity. Should I take Hack the Box or try Hack Me? Yes, Phil. So that's an awesome question. It all depends on where you are starting, right? Like, are you from an IT background and you're transitioning to cybersecurity? And within cybersecurity, where do you want to go, right? Do you want to go the offensive side? Do you want to go to defensive side? Do you want to go forensics? Do you know? And if you don't know, what I would start out at, this is just me, just because it made the offensive side even that much easier to understand. Start out with maybe doing some defensive work and understanding some of like the DFIR tools and, EDR and XDR and threat intel. So now when you're trying to penetrate or do some offensive security towards those technologies, you have an understanding on how they work. But I would, if you're a complete beginner, like transitioning from maybe some IT or help desk to cybersecurity, I would say try Hack Me is a little more user friendly, right? And then go to Hack the Box if you're looking to do some offensive security. And I think the ultimate best thing to do before, and it's free 99, right, is set up your own attack and defend lab. what does that look like? If you have a decent machine with at least 32 gigs of RAM, you can get away with 16. Set up like a Kali Linux machine with like Windows Server, a client, and set up like Active Directory, maybe some file shares, and do stuff like that. So you can utilize those technologies to attack, right? Because in the real world, when you're doing like an internal assessment, you're going to try to go, maybe a share is laying out on the network, maybe a null session, maybe you can, get onto something without authentication. Because I think I've said this before, when I was a sysadmin, I used to just give everyone access to everything just because it made my life easier, and I didn't get any, permission denied from the user. So if I didn't get a call or a ticket, I was good, right? And I didn't have that security mindset. So a lot of admins think like that, right? They're like, okay, like, unless you have a tidy down network. But yeah, what's up, Jacob? Yeah, we have to chat. And I hit you up today. Or yesterday, whenever we spoke about that, we have to talk about would I text you. So can you explain some tips to protect your, I'm guessing you're saying data, from Google? That's a good one. All right. So in my opinion, this is just me. I think if you exist, if you have an internet connection, your data is never going to be protected. That's just me, right? I don't sweat it. I don't even, I don't lose sleep over anything like that, just because, if you stress over it, it's going to be a shit show, right? I just go to sleep at night. If someone wants to hack me, they're going to hack me, right? I don't care. What are you going to get? All my money's under my bed. Unless you come to rob me, then you'll be good. But I don't have nothing, But yeah. So, but in all jokes aside, in all seriousness, I think obviously having MFA installed, having like multi-factor authentication, having some of your, countermeasures in place for your Google account. But as far as like, protect your data from going on to Google, like if someone Googles you and, for it's not to come up, do not exist, right? That's pretty much it. Like, for an example, like in anonymity, you can try. Obviously, if you want to anonymize yourself, I do that all the time, right? If I'm going to go, do some stuff, I'll go on tour and I'll do my anonymity aspect. But if you just don't, if you want, from Google, use Brave, use the Tor browser, use Proton Mail. There's alternatives from like the ClearNet, right? That's all depends on how like shooken you are. You know what I mean? How scared are you? How much do you have to hide? Like, that's just my opinion. That's just me. I'm not a criminal. I don't think like that. So I never have to hide because I have nothing to hide, right? That's just me, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. I don't fucking know. I don't sweat things that much. But hopefully that answers your question. And I had some stuff that I wanted to cover tonight that I just took some notes on. So I would get a lot of questions about like, because I have my little mentor program and I try to give as much away for free as possible because my time is more valuable than $1. This is just me. So if I can put out a video on how to create a good resume, I'm not the best resume writer. I'm going to be honest, right? I'm not. I'm far from it. But I got tips from other folks that were better than me. And then I made a video, right? I made a video on like how to create, since my channel is more driven to cybersecurity penetration testing, is how do we set up a penetration testing resume, or how do we create one, right? So if you watch that video, I think it was actually, I took tips from my video and used that for my own sake, right? So that's why I made that follow-up video on how to look for a job, right? Because everyone looks for a job differently. And some people are successful and some people aren't. And when I say that, I mean more to the effect of people that are more hermits that don't like to talk and network, which I always say it's not sometimes what you know, it's who you know. Like I haven't really had to go through the whole ATS system and really apply and do that old school way for about 12 years now, because every position I've gotten is through someone I know. So that's the most important way. But if you're new to the field, you're growing your network and you haven't gotten into that position that folks, that's why I say like networking, not TCP IP, but like going out and networking with folks to events, meetups, conferences, etc., and just get little cards, right? Get little cards with your LinkedIn, or maybe do like the digital thing, like, oh, scan my QR code and, they can add you on LinkedIn and Twitter and however your blogs on Medium, GitHub, however you have your profile and your information out there. So yeah, hopefully that helps, because I wanted to cover that as well, because I was getting a lot of questions on resumes. So privacy is a myth. I don't want to say it's a myth, but I guess for me, like it all depends, man. It all depends on how, are you going to sleep? Are you going to sleep at night because you have something to hide? Only you can answer that. I can go to sleep at night perfectly fine because I have nothing to hide, right? And I'm not scared of, someone hacking my shit. Oh, that's a good one. I am going to DEF CON. I did get my ticket. My ticket is purchased. My flight is purchased. So I will be there. So if anyone, if anyone's out there, hit me up. If you guys see me around, say hello. It was awesome seeing so many people last year. It was a little overwhelming because, I just feel like a little guppy in the sea on this interwebs and this, platform like YouTube, Instagram, etc. And the fact that some people knew me, I was pretty stoked. And I think the Red Team Village, because I will be participating. I haven't announced that yet, but I guess I'll announce it now. I will be participating in the Red Team Village this year. And I'm super stoked about that. So I will be a volunteer for a day or so. And so I think the Red Team Village, I haven't checked out all the villages yet. What else is popping over there? But the Red Team Village is cool. Hey, what's up, Val? Let me get a sip. Let me get a sip of my green tea so I can... Holy moly, there's almost 300 people. Holy shit. I guess, like, you guys not like to see me on here with a guest? Is that it? Because when I'm with a guest, dude, like, folks, it's like 50, 60 people, if that. Now it's 200, almost 260 people. Holy shit. I guess tonight's, if you're all in Florida, you're all reined in, so you're just sitting on your computer. Let me see. Holy shit, that's a lot of people. I guess it's all on Twitter. Like 80% is on Twitter. But Valentino, good evening. I have been following your channel, and I really want to know what you're doing. Wish you could continue. Yeah, awesome. So thank you for supporting my channel. I'm not sure if you're the Valentino I'm thinking, but if you are, so yeah, I want to continue that. The thing is, the last couple months, I had a strict schedule, obviously for personal reasons, and I wanted to get some stuff accomplished, like my PJPT and now the PMPT and CRTP. I'm doing, some studying on that one as well, but I put that to the wayside. I just want to brush up on some technologies that I've been neglecting in the sense of pen testing. And that's why I haven't continued on that journey. So, yeah. I wonder if Twitter is not, I wonder if people are putting stuff in Twitter. Because I know, like, LinkedIn, when you put a question on LinkedIn. So if you guys are watching this from any other, platform, and obviously YouTube is working because it's showing up here. I can see that. So if you are on any other platform and you want to ask a question, ask away. And what else? So yeah, so I had another topic that obviously, if I didn't get questions, I was prepared to just talk to myself for, like I said, 30 minutes or so. So another one is cybersecurity hygiene tips. Like, how can you how the hacker hive has said, like, what is the best practices for individuals and organizations to protect themselves online? I think, the best ways for individuals and organizations to protect themselves are just have the end users, you know, brushed up on their cybersecurity training, because they're always going to be the weakest link. They're always going to be the point of a lot of the times. Like, I've been on an assessment, and my assessment was to harvest credentials and do social engineering and phishing and all this stuff, setting up things on the internet. And some folks are really, really good. Some organizations are really, really good, and some aren't so good. So you can just call and pretend to be Joe Blow from Instagram. And I hear that your Instagram got hacked, and they're like, no, okay, send me your new code. I want to send you my code or whatever, or send me your new code. And then, you're giving your code to someone else and blah, 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 just for an example. And yeah, so that's obviously strong passwords, MFA, recognizing, some kind of phishing, smear phishing, whatever the hell, whatever, phishing attempts. And just make sure your personal devices, like your iPhone, your Android, always have like your, a passcode on it. And yeah, that's pretty much the ways to keep yourself safe on the internet, in my opinion. And let's see what else I have. I had certifications on here because, I just wrote some stuff down that I get a lot of questions about, and people setting up calls and stuff like that on. So, I touched about the PJPT, PMPT. So security certifications that I recommend, and I've made videos on this in the past. And like I said, I think I just said this. If I didn't, if you guys are on Twitter or on any other platform, if you're trying to write a comment, I don't see them. They're not coming through here. I don't know why, but you can just probably throw it on, jump on YouTube and throw the question in there. Or if you do it and I see it after the fact, I'll try to answer your question. So let's discuss the various certifications in cybersecurity, and specifically offensive security. I really, I've taken quite a few, a couple of them, and I really, really enjoyed. I'm not trying to like brown nose or anything for TCM, but like the way the PJPT was laid out, it just felt awesome. It was just fun, like if you do like OSCP and OSEP or whatever, all these, I don't know about like CRTP or CRTO or any of those, but for this one was, it's like you're in an environment and you're just hacking away, and it gives you that time to like just do your job or do your exam, right? So it's not really pressure. And my recommendation, if you're doing PJPT or PMPT, when I pass it, I'll give more insight, is, I think Alex said this from TCM, like take breaks. Because, even though I did that exam in like 42 minutes, I think I timed it. Just, I wanted to see, because everyone was telling me I can do it in less than an hour, and I didn't believe it. I was like, no, guys, like I don't do this every day, right? I'm not doing this every single day. So I had my good notes. So that goes on to the next one. Take good notes and make sure all your tools are working. And the way you can make sure your tools are working is if you're following the PEH course, while Heath is teaching you different tactics and techniques, just go ahead and make sure your tools are working alongside with him. And so that one, that one I definitely recommend, right? If you're trying to get like DOD, if you're trying to get into, government contracts, I have this on here. I'll probably get yelled at in the comments or whatever, but is a CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker. I think that one is good for a gatekeeper, right? A resume. It's not good if you want to learn how to hack. I remember when I got my CEH, I thought it was cool, but I couldn't hack myself out of a fucking a plastic bag, right? I knew all the theory. That's when I took that one. Backtrack R3 was the OS. It wasn't even Kali yet. And I was like, I know all these terms and theories, but I didn't know what I was doing. I remember, the first thing I hacked was my Wi-Fi network, because back then was WPA2. Oh no, WEP. I think my encryption was, and obviously that was super easy. And going to, like, offensive security, OffSec, you have the OSCP, and then you have like other certifications. If you want to get into general cyber or maybe blue team type stuff, is you have like Security Plus. Did I say Security Plus? But then you have like CYSA Plus from CompTIA. Then you also have like Blue Team Level 1, which is something I'm probably going to be doing in the near future. But, I'm not going to say much on that one. But, and then obviously CRTO, CRTP. And the one that I really want to get after PNPT is CRTP, Certified Red Team Professional, and then Certified Azure Red Team Professional. I think it's CARTP. Fuck, so many acronyms. But and then that's, and obviously guiding you guys through these exams is like, pay attention to the syllabus, and if it's a practical one, just make sure you take thorough notes. That would be my recommendation. So and then the next topic I have here is tools and techniques. So I can get into some tools and techniques. What are your thoughts? Threats? I don't know, man. I don't really know too much about. I know he's like, now anyone with Apple devices can't go into Tesla. They're gonna have a fucking bucket or whatever, something to put the phone in. If the new AI ChatGPT is integrated with iOS 18, I don't know, man. I guess I don't really care what. I don't know. I don't really have thoughts on it, because obviously I do have a Tesla. I do own a Tesla, but I don't really care about what he. Doesn't matter to me. Will AI replace cybersecurity experts? I don't think so. At least in my lifetime. Because at the end of the day, we still need humans to interact with certain things. I believe AI will definitely increase the possibilities for people to learn quicker. Like, for example, coding, right? And this is for me. I don't know how to code shit, right? I know PowerShell because I came from a Windows background. I know some Python from Heath's course, but I don't claim to be no coding expert. But I know how to chat GPT that shit. You know what I mean? I can code like a mofo if I have some chat GPT next to me, right? So you can use that as your leverage. You aren't a good check until you have a Tesla. Yeah, that's funny. Thanks, John. Yeah, it's a cool car. I love it. But so another thing I wanted to talk about is career advice. I don't know why I'm just like keep glitching. Maybe because I have 6,000 tabs open, and I have my Word document. So I have my ow. I banged the shit on my knee at the gym, and like it like hurts. But so career advice. So I put on here share advice on starting and advancing your career in cybersecurity. I think I touched up on this in a little bit short time ago, but getting the hands-on. I think the most important thing, even if it's blue team, red team, unless it's like GRC, unless it's like the non-technical technical stuff. But if you want to get on into a position where it's hands-on, definitely, it all depends. If you're loaded, then there's a whole bunch of options. But if you're broke, practice what you have at home, right? You have a computer, so set up like virtual. Now I won't even say VirtualBox anymore, because VMware Workstation's free, right, from broadband. So now you can just get VMware Workstation for free and just leverage that on your machine. And from the blue team side, you can follow videos online for like Waza. It's a XDR SIM. And then from the from the offensive security perspective, get Kali and all that good stuff, and just hack away. Right? There's so many different ways to build a career in cybersecurity today in 2024. And then I wanted to highlight some roles, right? Some cybersecurity jobs out there. There's so many, right? And even if you say I'm a pen tester, right? Uh, like when you say you're a pen tester, but what are you pen testing, right? It's like I'm a doctor. What kind of doctor are you, right? Are you a foot doctor, or are you just a doctor that helps you with your problems, like a psychologist or a psychiatrist or whatever, right? Or you're a fucking brain surgeon. So the different kinds of roles, right? You're a penetration tester, your typical network, web app, external, internal, blah blah blah, and then you have your specialties, what aerospace and all this other fun stuff, car hacking and all this. And that's another one. I think it was, I forgot who asked the question. I would have to scroll up. But another village is the car hacking village. And I believe Ryan will be there this year, I think he said. Totally not a hackster. And he does some car hacking. So I'm pretty stoked for the kid to see what he got. And let's see. Let me come back to the chat. What's your take on programming and the amount of time one should invest? I don't know shit about programming. I don't program. So I can't answer that because I never wrote a program in my life. So I'm sorry, Phil, to burst your bubble. Go to John Hammond, ex John. He came from a development background. That fucking kid's a genius. So if you want to know any advice, ex John. He's the one that came to my head because I know he's into that stuff. My question is, how does web app pen test compare areas like Active Directory pen testing? Seems like yeah, Calvin. So the thing about web pen testing, there's everything on the internet pretty much has a website, right? So if you go on the internet, how can I phrase that? Let me rephrase that. Every company or every application is sitting on the front end of a website, right? If you go to Google, everything that you're searching is going to guide you to a website. So if you want to learn more about, web pen testing versus AD pen testing, the thing is, application pen testing or web app pen testing is more driven to code and cross-site scripting and SSRF and OWASP top 10, et cetera, et cetera. Now, for an example, I know someone that we did a challenge. We challenged each other in our specialty. And he is a web app guru. He does mobile app pen testing, but he's not really into the network, external, internals, blah, 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 right? He comes from a different background than me. So we exchanged, right? We sat on a lab. It was about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago now. And we said, hey, Pat, you're going to do this web app. He built it himself, right? He did it himself. And then I built a Active Directory environment in the cloud in Azure, and did all my things, and seeing how long it takes him to get into my environment, and how long did it take me to find the vulnerability that it was. I was so fucking lost. So the moral of that story is it's two different beasts, and it's like. And same with him, like he couldn't even get initial access to the environment. But so even if he got inside, like if you're not running these tools, knowing the Active Directory methodology and pen testing mindset of compromising an AD environment, because it can be a vulnerability that we can leverage, or we can abuse services, right? So there's so many different avenues to get into an Active Directory environment. So hopefully that answers your question. So I think it's the hype on web app stuff is just, everyone needs it. So like if you go on jobs, there's going to be a lot more web app pen testing jobs than like network based pen testing. Hey, what's up? Greetings. I've heard that web pen testing is highly important, mostly especially for beginners. That I don't agree with that. I think if you're trying to if you're a junior pen tester and you went to a consulting firm and you said, hey, guys, I want to become a pen tester, I think where they're going to stick you is doing externals. An external pen test is a little different. It's a lot different than a web app pen test, right? So an external assessment is what can we do on the OSINT side? What can we see from the outside perspective on the internet about this company, right? If it, in 99% of the time, it's a gray box assessment. So what does a gray box mean? It means, okay, I want to give you some information. I'm not going to give you everything. Maybe you're going to have to go do, DNS subdomain enumeration. You're going to have to go on Aaron. You're going to have to go on Hunter. You're going to maybe go on the website and see who's the CEO. Maybe you can see the naming conventions for the email, blah, 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 So now you can take that and say, okay, let's find the login portal. Are they using Office 365? You can use, the mayor's tool. I love that tool. Thank you, Joe, for creating that tool. It enumerates Office 365 users, right? So there's so many awesome tools out there. And now we can utilize these tools and leverage like a login portal, right? If we go to portal.microsoft.com, and hopefully they have MFA, but then you can start watch John Hammond's fucking videos. You can start looking at how to bypass MFA, but that's more of the external side. Hopefully that makes sense, and that answers your question. So if anyone else disagrees, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see what is the entry level pen testers do at your organization, or when you were a junior pen tester, what were you testing? But I think externals are what they normally test. Let me actually open up Twitter as well. Let me see, because I'm curious to see if I have anything from Twitter. Because Nick, dude, like, rest in peace, Nicholas Joseph, the Cisco guy. I met him at a conference a couple of years ago, and it's so sad to see him pass. I wonder how he passed. Yeah, I do have. Make sure this thing is muted. No, I don't have any questions there. Okay, so maybe no one loves me. I just want to see. I want to put this in here. I want to put test, and just to see if it shows up. We'll see if that shows up shortly. But is certifications necessary for cybersecurity? That's a good question. Man, I always think to myself, I get that question a lot. The thing is, in my personal experience, right, I didn't come up the traditional way that I got into cybersecurity out of college, out of school, right? I was working in IT for 13 years before I got into cybersecurity, or 11 years at that point. So if you want to get your foot in the door, in my opinion, I think certifications hold value, right? And it proves that you have discipline to accomplish something, right? So do you necessarily need them? No, you don't need a certification for shit, right? But think about this, and this is what I think about to myself. Unless a company is looking for, someone that's going to pay $50, $60, $70, $80,000, right? But if you're looking to pay someone $60,000, $80,000 as an entry level, let's stick on a pen tester, right? Maybe you're going to hire them at 60, 70,000, say, okay, within 6 months, you have to get OSCP or PMPT or something like that. And if you don't get that certification, you're going to get let go or whatever. Or maybe you have someone that doesn't have any certifications, and like NetSpy, they have a program. If you get into their program, you have, I think, 6 months, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows, I think it's 3 to 6 months. You're in a program and you're doing web app stuff. You're doing all this stuff. And if you graduate, I guess, you're good to go. And then you get on the team and you start performing testing. But if you don't, you get the can, right? You get let go. But I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's beneficial. And what certifications to get? I guess that answers your question. Can I get a job without certifications? You can, absolutely. And that's why I think like networking with folks, joining Discord servers, shooting the shit with people, networking with folks, getting to know them is super important, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to get you in the door somewhere. Because, maybe this person's not hiring, but they know someone else that's hiring that they talked to at a conference saying, oh, I met Pat and he's, whatever. I think I'm okay, whatever, super cool. He would be a good fit for your team. at least have the conversation to, shoot the shit with him and be like, oh, he's a nice guy. Maybe he doesn't, and this is going to get to my next topic. Ticking all the tick boxes on a job description, right? You don't need to, like, if you look at a job description, it's a wish list. Think about it as a wish list. You don't have to have every single thing on that, because if that's the case, if you're a fucking unicorn, right? And you're not going to be probably working there for $80,000 if you can tick that's just a wish list. And just think about it like that. I know, because I had someone call me or reach out to me about a month ago now. Maybe man, the Rangers been out for a week now. So it's like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? The playoffs, the hockey playoffs. Actually, the game starts in 25 minutes. So we only got 25 minutes. But he said the same thing, right? He asked me that same exact thing. And I was like, wait, what? So like, yeah, it is what it is. So you don't need any certifications. Let's see, what else do I want to chat about? Yeah, see, I put test and yeah, it's not coming through on here. I'm not sure what's going on here. Any other questions? I guess if you're on YouTube, I guess. That's weird. I wonder why it's not showing up anywhere else. Let me see on LinkedIn too. I think LinkedIn I'm on, and let's see if there's anything. Let me make sure. Let's see. I'm just trying to. Well, let me mute this. Let's see. No, I guess no one loves me on those platforms, but unless like it's just not coming through on the platform. So maybe it's just I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the other platforms. But if no one else has much more to say, I wanted to actually talk about. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about was oh man, maybe I deleted it. Shit. I have a few notes here that oh yeah. So stay consistent and improve your skills. So I just put that down there, and I just want to elaborate on that. So stay consistent, meaning don't fall off the bandwagon. If you're learning a topic, and this is what I think Keith Walker taught me, be so consistent teaching that topic. I mean, learn that topic so good that you can teach that topic. That means you really understand and you're consistent with that topic, right? I said topic like 6 times. So that's exactly what I did when I was studying for some Cisco certifications. And even recently with the PJPT, I was learning the topics, the tools, and I would talk to myself, or I would talk to whomever, like, hey, like, I'm learning this from Heath. This is what I did, blah, 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 blah. And I would just like talk about this process and make sure I really understood, not only like just running a command. And I remember Jeremy Chara from CBT Nuggets. I don't think he's there anymore, but he said something about VLANs. All right. It's easy to, do config T, VLAN 10, blah, 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 and just create a VLAN, right? But what exactly is the VLAN doing, right? At layer 2, it's doing a broad, ARP, and what is ARP, and what is a MAC address, what is blah, 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 all this stuff. So, and then improve, right? So say, for example, if there's a topic that you do not know very well, like for me, it's web apps. And that's why, hopefully at the PJPT, I'll do like the junior web app one from TCM. And then now they have PWPT, I think practical web app pen tester. And maybe I'll go that route just because, like they said in there, the hype is there, and there's a lot of web apps that need to be tested, right? Especially API hacking. And there was an event that I went to recently in New York that was API days, and I was like, this is so foreign to me. And then obviously getting on to API Sec University, doing some of their courses from Corey Bull and Dan, I was like, oh shit, like this is pretty cool. Like it's pretty interesting. And you don't know if you enjoy something until you try it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Jacob, a friend of mine, a buddy, he was on my stream, the supermodel kid. He's probably on here. He was on here earlier, but him, like, right? Hey, what's up, guys? So with him, like, he got his, he went, I think he did the PMPT. No, I don't think. I know he did the PMPT. I think he did the Dante from Hack the Box. And he was like, he was so focused on being a penetration tester, right? And now when he got into it, he was doing pen testing, and then he landed a gig with Dark Wolf. And now he's doing reverse engineering, got into low-level exploitation, binary, whatever the fuck he's doing. I don't know. Then he's like, okay, forget about the network pen testing. He's going to be a RE, reverse engineer, right? So just follow what you think is most interest to you. Don't follow another bloke. You know what I mean? Like, if there's someone else that's doing something, and don't do something just because they're doing it, right? That's just my my input. Berto, ¿qué pasa? What is the hardest part about cybersecurity for you? The challenges you face in your cybersecurity career? That's a good one. Oh, dude, that's a really good question. What is the hardest part of my career? Man, I think for me, staying afloat, staying ahead of the game. I don't know if it's as I'm getting older. I'm going to admit this live. As I'm getting older, I'm getting less interested in the bullshit, right? And what does that mean, right? You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, like, what you were saying about this Elon Musk and what is the AI? Like, I focus on today, right? And just like I said, Nicholas, if I don't know him personally, I don't know him like he's not a buddy, but I had his phone number. I would talk to him every now and then when I was studying for Cisco certifications back in the day, and the kid dropped dead 2 days ago, right? So I don't really think about that. But the hardest part, I think, is just staying afloat, staying ahead of the game. And yeah, that's pretty much my hardest thing, because as I'm getting older, I'm getting less interested in the news and all that stuff. I just stay in my own lane. And if it doesn't impact me directly, I don't give a shit. That's just me. Hopefully that answers your question. And if it doesn't, sorry. When you're young, when you're starting out your career, you're hungry, you want to absorb everything like a sponge. But as you progress in your career, and it's like, okay, just another day, another dollar, right? It's nothing new. I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, there's a whole bunch of different attacks. There's a whole bunch of different people getting hacked, but it's all the same kind of ways, right? It's like robbing someone, right? Like stealing something from someone, robbing someone. So it's like, there's only, you can rob someone so many different ways, with weapons, with your fists, with different things. But the end goal is you're still robbing them, right? So that's the objective, is you're a thief. So same thing in cyber, right? Like, your objective is either defend against these hackers or hack an organization and as your career, as a pen tester, right? So that's just my take. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys tell me in the comments if you guys agreed or disagree. I'm curious. Let me take a sip of this for time. We'll hang out for like 15 more minutes. Oh, there was another question from Calvin. Sorry. What role? Totally agree. Thank you, Fran. Appreciate it. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me as I'm getting older. What role has playing CTFs played in your... All right, Calvin. I love this kid. Well, I love this person. I don't know if you're a fucking kid or not. But CTFs. So I want to answer the first part of your question, then I'll start reading the next part. So the first part, what is your role in playing in CTFs, played in your development as a pen tester? Before I was studying for my OSCP, I never did a CTF. And I was never a fan of CTFs because they're not realistic. Maybe John Hammond will beat me up for that, but in my opinion, like when I was doing some CTFs and learning about different things, the objective is to capture a flag, right? Yes, you can learn how to do the techniques, learn the commands, learn the process, the methodology, but it's not realistic. Maybe there are some realistic aspects of CTFs. So after I was studying for OSCP, now I'll just do CTFs to like do walkthroughs and like, just to showcase, a different box and a different room and blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, they're not my favorite. You can definitely get away with being a penetration tester without doing CTFs, because I don't really do CTFs to do any development learning. That's just me. But I definitely want, there is some CTFs like from on Try Hack Me that I want to check out. And some of them are a little more realistic, I've heard. So I definitely have to check it out. But yeah. So the second part, do you think participating in CTFs helps improve skills and make someone better at their job? So, see, I can only speak on me. It did not help me, right? It actually made it worse, right? And that's why, going back to the TCM thing, that's why like doing a realistic, if you want to have like OSCP, right? Let's say OSCP, your mindset is going to be very, very CTF-like, right? You have to capture flags, move laterally, capture another flag, get a root flag, get the domain, blah, 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 right? So, that's the objective. But in a real penetration test, your objective is not to capture a flag. I've been on pen tests that, the objective was to see if there was any PII data exposed to different users. It wasn't even to get domain admin on the domain, right? I was just seeing if there's any PII information from the external side. And then I did that for 2.5 days. And then they dropped me inside of the network. They gave me a VPN access. I was inside their network and I did that for another 16 hours. And, the objective was just to see if I can get any PHI and PII information from the client, from the medical center. And that was the objective. It wasn't to do that. And CTF is not going to help me, dig through loot, right? Like find, if I'm looking at, file integrity, if someone deleted something, how can we restore that, blah, blah, blah. Like, so hopefully that answers it, man. I'm not really a CTF kind of guy. That's not me. But yeah. So blah, blah, blah. It's hard if not impossible to keep up with everything these days. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like if you're going to try to, that's why like, even with the career, right? If I'm like, okay, I want to be a cybersecurity person, right? Cybersecurity has so many avenues. And same thing even with offensive security, right? With penetration testing, just like I said several minutes ago, there's so many avenues. There's so many specialties now with penetration testing, right? I had some folks on from Blue Goat, right, for several weeks ago, and they just do medical device pen testing, right? Like with the FDA and everything like that, blah, blah, blah. And that's not your traditional stuff, right? They specialize in taking like a pap smear fucking device at their house and try to pen test it and do low level stuff. You're not doing that for, that's a special kind of testing. And so, yeah, it's impossible to know everything. And that's why, and I was like that, right? In my 20s, I was like that. I wanted to know networking. I know VMware, Hyper-V, cloud, routing, switching, firewalls, blah, 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 blah. That's why I went fucking from Microsoft to VMware to Cisco to Palo Alto and learn all these technologies. And I burned myself out, to be honest. You know what I mean? And it's like, how many more NAT rules do I want to create in different firewalls and taking different certifications? But if you're trying to teach it, like, that's a different story. But if you're just trying to learn it just because you want to get the knowledge, and if you're not using it, I think it's no point. That's just me. How do you motivate yourself for cybersecurity when you lose interest? Okay, that's actually a good one because I was dealing with that recently with the PJPT, right? And it wasn't with cybersecurity; it was with like this whole certification studying and just like, learning some. it was not so much for me to learn what I needed to do. It was learning how to sit at my ass here and focus, right? That was what I needed to learn. I didn't need to learn the technology because I think without the PEH course, I think I could have done that, you know. But obviously, I wanted to make sure. I don't want to go into any exam thinking I'm going to ace it and then get fooled. You never know what you're going to be presented, right? So I wanted to make sure. So what I did, what I did to focus on that was disconnect from everything, meaning like my cell phone, it's always with me here. And I put my cell phone, I don't put it outside. I think I put it somewhere else, put it on vibrate and just focused. Listened to Heath Adams fucking for an hour and a half. And that's what that's the way I got through that. And I just, had to break through it. And I didn't lose interest in doing the exam. I was starting to lose interest in sitting there, having a discipline to listen to someone. Like, that's hard for me. Even though, like, I love Heath, like, even when I was doing CBT Nuggets with Jeremy Chara and Keith Barker and all those folks over there, like when I was learning about Palo Alto, when I first started my YouTube channel, I was studying for PCNSE, and I think I've said that several times. I would watch a video from Keith Barker, I would lab it up, and that's when I was studying with a couple of folks, and I would put even though like Keith, it's crazy, Keith Barker is so good at keeping your interest, right? It's like he has that talent that, you can just focus, right? But even for me, that was so hard. It was hard for me just to stay focused. And the way I got through that is because I knew the end goal was going to be rewarding. So that's the next part. If it's a reward at the end, it's like if you're working out, right? And you want to get summertime fine to make an older lady's mind, right? Like fucking, you want to just have your abs, you want to get fit and you want to look jacked or whatever. You're not going to sit at your fucking ass on the couch and eat potato chips and watch TV. You have to break through that. You have to go to the gym. You have to do the work, right, to see results. So yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, let's see what else. Hopefully that answers your question. The Hacker Hive. How much will learning full stack web development help in yourself? Steve, I love your kid, but I don't know much about full stack development. I know a little bit about LAMP, but I've never done too much of that. I would assume, if I was to guess, it would definitely help if you're trying to get into that part of cybersecurity and you're trying to test those applications on web apps and like DevSecOps, and you're doing like stuff like that. That would be my take on that. Shit, I'm late. Yeah, Eric. No, man, you're still chilling. I'll probably hang out for a couple more minutes. And yeah, I just want to, I want to thank everyone for hanging out, even if you're on Twitter and whatever other platforms you guys are hanging. And another thing, we're at almost 90. I don't know if you can see it back there, almost at 90,000 subscribers. Maybe that's small for some channels and maybe it's big compared to other channels. I don't know, but it is my channel and it's the support that I've gotten over the years. I'm super blessed and I want to thank you all for, supporting the journey. You know what I mean? If it's from just like watching one video or watching every video I put out. And, what I want to say is like, thank you. And if there's topics that you guys want to see, if there's more topics, others, or if it's like, hey, Pat, like, I probably want to put a poll out there, like what kind of content you guys would like to see. Because I put out content that I think that would be beneficial, like the resume stuff, how to search for a job. They didn't get many views. Like I have almost 90,000 people and like only 600 people watch those videos. But then when I put out a video on, I don't know, CSI Linux for OSINT, and it's like 10,000 people want to see that one. So I get what people want to see, but I want to hear it, right? Like what is some valuable videos and content that you guys would like me to, put out? Because getting those ideas gives me that energy and that, ambition to continue. So Eric, Yeah, man. I'm far from famous. I don't want to be famous. I don't, I tinker around. I fuck around. Like I mess around with friends like, yo, son, I'm famous, but I don't want that. It's not about that clout shit. Oh, that's a good one. What inspires you to join in cyber? I think you mean like what inspired me to start cybersecurity? Oh man. So if you're new to my channel, you may have never heard my story, but we only have 5 more minutes, so I'm not going to get too far into the story. So make a long story short, I got my PayPal hacked. So that's what inspired me to get into cybersecurity. I was selling sneakers on eBay, and this is when eBay would connect to PayPal. And I had about $800 in my PayPal account. I was selling a pair of J's or a pair of Jordans, and the Nigerian prince fucking whacked me. I clicked on the link. I got, this is before MFA. This is before the verification. I just put my credentials in a phishing site, which I was dumb enough to do because I wasn't a cybersecurity person. So I just clicked on it. I didn't look at the URL. I got my PayPal hacked, and the next morning, like when that happened, I didn't check right away. I think it was like a couple hours or maybe the next morning. I don't know. It was like fucking 10 years ago. And yeah, just like I was studying. I was in my undergrad degree studying like information technology or something, like multimedia and information technology or something like that. I was going to ITC Technical Institute. And I changed my career that I wanted to do information systems security. That was the major. And that's what inspired me to get into cyber. And here we are. I don't know. I graduated from there in 2009, I think. Yeah, I think 2009, because I started in 2004, because I graduated high school in 2004. Yeah, so 2009 I graduated. So what was that, 16 years? But I wasn't working in cyber then, but that's when I've been tinkering around with the security aspect. Yep. So any other fun questions? I need to take this hat off. I'm getting fucking hot. I know my hair's a mess, but I don't give a shit. 4 minutes left. Why are you the East Coast? Fuck you, Eric. That's why they're down 2-0, right? That's why the Panthers look. So hopefully you're talking about hockey, because I don't know if you're talking about basketball. I don't fucking know shit about basketball. I don't know anything about any other sports. I do know about it, but I don't follow them. But if you're talking about hockey, the West Coast, obviously it's not even the West Coast, it's fucking Canada. The Oilers are playing the Florida Panthers, and the Florida Panthers are up 2-0. Now they're going to be in Edmonton tonight. They're going to be in Canada, and they're going to start in about 3 minutes. Probably they don't start in 3 minutes because I do the, fucking "Oh Say Can You See," the anthem, a national anthem. So I think you better reevaluate yourself, son. The Panthers are going to take it this year. I'm proud of them. I wish it was the Rangers in the cup, but I do live in Florida, so I'll rep the Florida team. I just meant in general, I can't talk. Fan, since we already finally just got talking. Yeah. They are they were pretty good last year, right? They were pretty good last year. I don't know what happened to them this year. They fucking didn't show up. But that's awesome. Yeah. Hockey is I think this is the most interesting sport in the playoff. It's my, maybe I'm just biased because it's my favorite sport. But yeah, that's awesome. As long as you're following hockey, you're on the good books with me. But any other questions? I know, like, I'm not sure. I need to check, see what's going on with like the Twitter and all the other stuff, all the other platforms, because I put test in my Twitter and didn't come up here. So and LinkedIn didn't come up here either. So I don't know if it's just a me problem or a platform problem. But I think I connected it. I'm sure I connected it. Yeah, I did, right? Because you guys see it on LinkedIn. But yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, I want to say thank you. And I'm sorry that it wasn't a Thirsty Thursday original, like with me and a guest. Jacob, like I said, got sick. But, I made it tonight. I wanted to shoot the shit with you guys for an hour. And there's fucking 600. This is, I think, the most I ever had on a stream. 600. 36 people. Yeah. So it might be a problem with Restream. Okay. So maybe there was a problem and maybe I have to like do something. But anyhow, I want to say thank you for every single person that participated, asked me questions. Hopefully I answered your question. And if not, please leave it in the comments below after the fact, and I will try to get back to you. And if you have let me see, I think, where's my Discord? If you guys want to join my fun den, the Walking Dead Discord server, come join and you can ask me any question you like. And I want to put this in the chat. 1 second. I want to put this in the chat and I'll hang out for, there you go. And I'll hang out for a few minutes. And one thing I want to say, like on my Discord, and I've said this several times about, even other Discords, I'm not a Discord expert. I don't know, yes, I do have a Discord owned, helps me manage it. KevTech, MT, like so many other people that are a lot better than me at Discord. I really, really appreciate them so much for helping me out. But if you guys have a question directly for me, just send me a direct message. And I do get a lot of them, but send me a message with a purpose, right? Like I want to read one right now. Like if I go to my thing, I'm just to show you guys, not show you, like, but tell you guys, how the fuck do I even see? See, I'm so stupid. I don't even know how to fucking see. All right, click on this little thing up here. All right, so pending, right? Pending, I get an incoming, is this the, no, these are just people, 104 people pending. All right, that's not, where's like the messages? I don't even know how to fucking see. Oh, message request, right? See, this is how much I know about Discord. So message request. So from, I don't know this fucking name, I don't know. It just says, please help me. My account is hacked. Don't fucking call me for that. Don't ask me that. I can't help you. Go call fucking Meta or go call Ghostbusters. I'm not going to. And this is some of the example, like this one. Oh, actually, this one's a nice one. Appreciate your content, man. Lots of good resources. Thank you, Wolfie. But I'm going to actually, I'm going to approve yours. But like this one, hey, man, you help me hack? The fuck does that even mean? Like, no, I'm not going to help you hack. Go figure it out. You know what I mean? Like first have a baseline, relationship with me before you start asking me some stupid shit, because I want to give you a stupid answer. Like my father said, you ask a stupid question, you get a dumb answer. But yeah, I want to actually go through these because there's some actual legit questions and some compliments and some good shit. But yeah, again, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support for everyone. And if you guys have any questions, just hit me up after the fact and see you guys. Much love. Love you guys.